Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today we are here to discuss Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 6, Episode 8, another banger for the girls. And I feel like some of y'all are going to be a little surprised by some of the feedback that I have today. Not shocked. Not shocked. Now let's not get crazy, but you're going to be a little surprised because I'm going to throw Lisa Barlow a little bit of a bone. All right? Because when we first started this episode, we saw the clip of Heather going down to the lily pad and talking with Lisa. And Lisa says, why do you think that I'm always the source of the information? And Heather replies in her drunken state, because whenever I need information on somebody, I ask you. Okay, well, here's the thing. I do think that Lisa is the source of the leaks and the source of the information. I think people do tell her stuff, as she says, but you cannot be calling me a gossip and accusing me of leaking stories about people and then coming to me for stories about people, right? You don't get to pick and choose when me knowing information is helpful to you or not. Like, I was like, okay, Heather. And again, I've said it before on this channel, on my podcast, I do still believe that Heather is the #1 snake. I just don't think Lisa can help herself. And that was really, really, really evident this episode. Now, when I say Lisa cannot help herself, I want to be very clear. She should be able to help herself. Okay? She's a grown woman, right? Lisa, I would love to know what goes on up here. I would love to know what Lisa actually hears when people are saying sentences, because it is clear that she does not hear what is being said. But what my point with Lisa is, and the women, I will say this. I think the women either need to accept that this is how Lisa is and she's not going to change and leave it be, or they just need to move on from her. Because I don't think that Lisa is capable of seeing things differently. I don't think Lisa is capable of changing her mind. I really, really don't. I know that sounds bad, but because honestly, truly, I don't think that Lisa actually knows how to be a friend. I truly don't think she understands how to be a friend to people. Lisa thinks that everybody wanting to talk to her, tell her things is kind of giving her more, it makes her more, I don't want to say worthy. I don't think it's the word that I'm looking for, but I think she, in her mind, it adds to her bank. Like, oh my God, this person saw me out and they wanted to talk to me. Oh my God, this person loves me. This person's quoting me. That adds to her worth in her mind, but really it doesn't. People see you as like an object or a housewife. And here's the thing with Lisa, she keeps saying like, why do these women think that I'm doing these things? Because you are, all right, first and foremost. But also, Lisa, is Lisa a good housewife? Yeah, I guess. Like, she, I don't think Lisa's a bad housewife. I just don't like her. You know what I mean? She is doing her job, because that's what a lot of people will say and complain that, you know, clearly love her. They're like, but she's a good housewife. Correct. She is a good housewife, but human wise, you don't need to decide whether you're going to be a good housewife or a good friend, a good housewife or a good human, right? There's room for both. Lisa is not operating in the sense of like, I'm going to be a housewife, I'm going to be a good housewife, and then I'm still going to maintain some of my friendships. I don't know what type of 360 deal she has Meredith Marks in right now, but that's the only reason Meredith is hanging on, because Meredith is like, you know what, it's not worth it to fight. And they tell us every other episode, we fought really hard for our friendship. We are back to a good place. Meredith, you better stand up for me. Like, that friendship still isn't real. Now, I truly, really do feel for Meredith Marks the next day after the big blow up fight, because if I was hungover and I had to listen to Lisa Barlow bitch and be like, I don't know why anybody hates me. I'm such a good fucking friend. Why could you not stand up for me, Meredith? I actually would go lay out on the pool chairs with Bronwyn. That would be my bed. Like, I'm not, shut up. Lisa does not do herself any favors in that category. And we're about to get into why here in a second. Because like I said last week, first of all, Lisa's issue at that table was she wasn't arguing with Bronwyn. She was arguing with Heather and Whitney. Like, she wasn't arguing with Bronwyn. They were talking about the stories that came out about Bronwyn, but Bronwyn barely said anything. She didn't say who she did or did not think it was at the table. But then the next morning, Bronwyn said stuff about Brittany, right? But then the next morning, Brittany's talking to Lisa, in which Bronwyn overheard. And as I always say with Lisa, the tables turn so fast on her shit, because to engage in a conversation, when last time you talked to Bronwyn, you said that you were not going to talk about Todd, you weren't going to talk about the kids, you were going to be civil and start a new page. Now you're sitting here talking about her, bringing up stuff from last season. She just can't help herself. She cannot help herself. And she's like, I didn't start it though. Whether you started it or didn't start it, you have supposedly ended it. You are supposed to be flipping a new page with Bronwyn. That's what I say. That's what I mean when I say she has the potential and she does hold the storylines back, in my personal opinion. Because if I say that we are moving on from this and then I overhear you talking shit about me and bringing up the very things that we said that we weren't going to bring up, fuck you. That's why Bronwyn got to the point that she was at. Fuck you. And the irony of having that conversation, then going up to breakfast in front of everybody and saying, I wouldn't want my name to be a part of a conversation I'm not a part of, when you just got overheard talking shit about somebody, dragging their name. Lisa, you cannot reprimand somebody and say, don't do that. That person's not standing here. You wouldn't want that to happen, when you were just doing it. She was just doing it. I am so interested to see how this reunion is going to play out for her. Side note, Andy said that I guess she heard him say that she kind of argues like Teresa. She was like, I don't argue like Teresa. And Andy was like, well, you XYZ. And she's like, but no, I don't. But he was like, you're doing it right now. You're doing it right now, Lisa. Oh my goodness gracious. And then she can't, even when busted, immediately she was busted. She couldn't just say, you're right, I got swept up in the moment. You know, me and Bronwyn are still working on our friendship. Bronwyn is clearly pissed off. Why? Obvious reasons. And she starts to get up and she's like, fuck you. And she's like, sit down. You're deflecting. You're deflecting. Do you know what words mean, Lisa? Do you know what words mean? I just heard you talking shit about me after we said that we weren't going to do that. And now I am saying fuck you and walking away from your ass. That's not deflecting. That's called me being pissed the fuck off. Okay? Now, when it comes to the whole making out and farting thing, first of all, it is one thing to find out that your significant other is apparently making out with somebody and everybody's like, why didn't Bronwyn react to that part? I think they have an arrangement. Sorry, not sorry. I don't know, but I feel like they have an arrangement, right? Same way as Seth and Meredith too. We'll get there in a second. But if I found out that you were making out with somebody else and farting, you're behaving quite comfortably. Do you like her? Do you like this person? Because that's beyond an arrangement. Farting around somebody is beyond an arrangement. And I'm with Mary. If this isn't somebody you like, okay, you and I know we have this arrangement. Don't be farting around bitches. Don't be farting around nobody, Todd. But again, I would just love to know what goes on in Lisa's mind, because for her to say like, I don't want anything to be misconstrued and I really, really, really try to do the right thing. I don't think you try to do the right thing at all. I think you hear a piece of hot goss and then you can't help but repeat it. And trust me, I heard something last week that I'm not kidding. Somebody told me at the bar. I went immediately. I know that they were like, he was looking at me after he told me, walk right up to somebody else and told them. Now, that I don't care if somebody says like Giselle told me that. Okay, just to be clear, that was not my friend. It had anything to do with. And that person talks about me, so I don't give a fuck, right? If they were, my point being, unlike Lisa, if they were to come up to me and be like, did you talk about that? And I'd be like, yeah, and so told me. And I did talk about it because you talked about me. Like, we all gossip, okay? I don't want it to be misconstrued that like gossiping is bad and none of us do it, blah, blah. We all do it. We hear things about people and we repeat them. However, Lisa, it's to another level because she's always hearing things about people. And I would also argue that, are people always telling you stuff because they know you're going to repeat it? Maybe, like, are people telling you things because they know you're going to tell? Okay, that's just a question, And Lisa can't even deny it properly because she's like, I didn't say that it was one of my friends. And her excuse is, look, I grew up in New York. I know a lot of people. So what the fuck does that have to do with you repeating that apparently Todd was making out with somebody and passed gas? What is that after you said that you were moving forward with Bronwyn and that the husbands were off limits? What is that you growing up in New York and knowing a lot of people? What? Okay, now, Angie is the one that brought it on camera. Angie threw it out there. Why do I think Angie threw that out there? Because she missed a full day's of work, puking and being stuck to her room with Mary the day before and missed all of the drama. So she wanted to get right back in it. She's not sent her, what do they have? Snowflake for no reason. She is not sent her Snowflake for no reason. Please be serious. She said, Mom, I have to get back to work. I'm going to pop a Dramamine and I don't care if I have to plant my feet to the goddamn boat. I will be filming today. That's what she said. However, I still think that it is, even though it was not said on camera, it wasn't repeated to Angie on camera, I do personally think because it happened during the filming season and right after they had just gotten done filming with the cast, I think it's fair game to be brought on camera, right? There's plenty of times on Housewives seasons when things happen during the season, right after cameras go down, that we don't get to see. That I personally like to talk about it? No, because I don't get to, see, whether, if it was how somebody said it was or wasn't. However, Lisa already said that she said it. Okay, so grand opening, grand closing. And also, it's been introduced. You said it about a castmate to another castmate during the filming season. So I do think it's fair that it got brought up. Now, the guise and under which it was brought up, it was for a selfish reason from Angie K. And I love Angie, but that was selfish of her. And even though Angie brought it up, again, Lisa, cards all on the table. She's got a shitty ass poker face because she turns to Meredith and she says, don't ever tell her anything speaking about Angie K. She'll just repeat it. So just like you told her to investigate Meredith's family, like, Meredith, are we paying attention? This is why people think y'all are in cahoots. This is why people think that y'all have an agreement not to argue, because the closest we're going to get to an argument from Lisa and Meredith is what happened on the beach. And that was not even an argument. First of all, Lisa was talking about it before Meredith walked up. Meredith just happened to walk up, or maybe a producer told her to, I don't know. But then Lisa completely changed her tune the way she was talking to Mary. Then Mary is like, Meredith is like, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do this, because I don't know if anything had kicked in yet for her. But at this point, Meredith's only opponent is Brittany with an I, and I hate that for her. I hate that for her, because Meredith keeps letting Brittany, like, bait her into her camera time. Meredith, and maybe Meredith's like, I need quick camera time too, so why not argue with Brittany? But it's easy, it's cheap, and I don't give a fuck about what Brittany is saying. You know that girl irritates the shit out of me, okay? What is she? She's like, did you see what's going on about you on TikTok? We all know that you are perpetually on TikTok, Brittany. I mean, I keep hitting not interested every single fucking time one of her videos pops up where she is assaulting me, screaming at me, running through the airport, singing, screaming into the camera. People are looking at her crazy. I hit not interested, not interested, not interested. It still pops up. I'm gonna have to block her, unfortunately, and then something's gonna happen where I'm gonna miss it because I had to block her. But the video they're speaking of, I mean, I didn't see it. However, we've been saying that Seth and Meredith have an arrangement. We've been saying that Seth has a whole nother life in Ohio. Welcome to the fucking club, Brittany. We don't care. We do not care, okay? You are tardy for the fucking party. Find something else to pick at. But she can't. She can't. Ugh. Oh my God, she's so annoying. But what I will say is, even though Meredith Marks is taking the lazy route and phoning it into Housewives, when she said, I'm in a monogamous marriage, monogamous marriage. I was like, you just said marriage. And we all know how Meredith Marks speaks in the first place, but those women are drunk. Okay, they are fucking wasted. I don't think Heather has been sober since they stepped foot on that damn boat. I mean, oh, those margaritas did look good though. We're on the boat again next week. I mean, these episodes are very, very long. I know it's because of a crossover with Below Deck, but like, we've been here for a while. I feel like we've been on this boat half the season. No, we have. They've been on the boat for 3 episodes. And we're on, what are we on? Episode 8? We've been on the boat a while, but that's going to be it for this video on Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, episode 8. Don't forget to engage. Let me know in the comments how you are feeling about this episode and this season as a whole, and I will talk to y'all next time.